Welcome back to On the Rise, as we are starting a new series on the channel called Canadians of the Week, where we break down the top 3 Canadian performances of the previous week, as well as giving one honorable mention. As we'll jump straight into my third Canadian performance of the week, which for me was Promise David, as Promise David continued his incredible performance and form on the season for Union Saint-Gilloise, as his side won 3-0 as Union Saint-Gilloise beat Ghent in a major victory, which elevates the side to third place on 34 points in the Belgian season on the split, as they are now 2 points behind Club Brugge and 6 points behind first place Genk, and still keeps them alive for title aspirations. And it was thanks to Promise David, who yet again had another incredible performance, scoring his goal in the 39th minute, and he worked off very little, showing how he was such a clinical finisher and takes whatever chances he is given, as Promise David had the least amount of touches for any outfield player in this match on 26 touches, but as well, only one shot, and he scored that goal on a 0.51 xG. Promise David showed how clinical he is and how good of a finisher he is for Union Saint-Gilloise, and why he is one of the best strikers outside of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and the reason why this Union Saint-Gilloise side is continuing to have title aspirations so far into the season, as they are now only 6 points behind first place in Genk. But the other number 2 Canadian performance of the week for me comes in the MLS and comes from Tani Oluwase, as Tani is my second Canadian performance of the week, as his Minnesota United side went on to win 2-1 over New York City FC, where Tani Oluwase scored an incredible goal in the second minute. But that goal and that victory elevates Minnesota United into third place in the Western Conference, only 2 points behind Vancouver Whitecaps. But their early start and their very exciting start to the MLS season has been simply down to Tani Oluwase, who has 5 goals, 1 assist in 6 starts to this MLS season. Scoring that Canadian goal has done Tani a world of good, filling him with confidence, getting that monkey off his back, and he has shown all of his attributes and all of his skills so far this season in the MLS. And it has been exciting to see for Tani Oluwase, as he scored in the second minute for Minnesota United, and a very exciting goal, which, like I said, showed his talent, his skills, and his attributes. As Minnesota United early on in the game hit New York City FC on the counter, Tani managed to use his pace, his speed, and his intelligence to break the back line, to read where the ball was going to come, and finish absolutely beautifully, as he finished this game on an 8 rating, having 1 goal, playing 90 minutes, having 3 shots. It was an incredible performance. 11 for 18 accurate passes and 2 chances created. Tani Oluwase continues to prove why he is one of the best strikers in the MLS, and a very good call-up for Jesse Marsch. And it was a great performance, and my second Canadian performance of the week from Tani Oluwase. But before we jump into my number 1 Canadian performance of the week, it is time for the honorable mention. And the honorable mention was a difficult one to choose, a very tough one for me to choose, because I had a CPL player who was in the mix, in Ronan Kraft. The 21-year-old Canadian had an incredible performance in the CPL, picking up a goal, but it doesn't go to him. It goes to the man himself, who has found his form, who is back to his best, in Villarreal's very own, in Tajon Buchanan, who gets my honorable mention this week, as he had a very exciting performance, as he earned the start in Villarreal's 0-0 draw against Athletic Club, as they had a red card for Villarreal in the 83rd minute. But Tajon Buchanan, albeit getting an injury in the 57th minute, yet determined how significant that injury is, he showed his best once again. He showed what the old Tajon Buchanan we remember from previous years. He had his confidence back. He had his mojo back. And as they say these days, Tajon Buchanan was cooking. And it was a great performance from Tajon Buchanan. He wasn't scared to go at his defender, at his opposite fullback. He was willing to take them one-on-one. He wasn't scared to knock it past them and try something, or dribble at them, try a skill move. Tajon looked like himself once again. and it is amazing to see. Yes, he went out with that injury, which is very unfortunate to see, but Villarreal fans are raving about his performance. They are very excited, and some of them are even saying we have a right winger once again. And for Tejan to make this loan move, to gain that confidence back, have the manager on his side, being backed by the supporters, this is exactly what you want from a Canadian who is on the younger side of things, who is going through a difficult stage in his career, and has shown his form once again, and has really shown flashes of the old Tejan Buchanan. And the player Canadian supporters truly miss, and Jesse Marsch truly needs to see for this national team, which was incredible to see for Villarreal, because they have their winger. Canadians have their winger back, and it is amazing to see Tejan Buchanan playing with confidence, excitement, and that spring in his step once again. So Tejan Buchanan was my honorable mention. But my number one Canadian performance of the week, if you haven't guessed it yet or already, it was a clear number one for me. And yes, Tani, Promise, as well as Tejan Buchanan all had incredible performances. Jason Russell-Rowe's performance absolutely stood out to me, as Jason Russell-Rowe was my number one Canadian performance of the week, as his Columbus Crew side went on to beat CF Montreal, the Canadian side, 2-1, elevating Columbus Crew to number one in the Eastern Conference in 7 games, landing on 15 points. And that is all due to our Canadian number 9, our Canadian striker in Jason Russell-Rowe. Columbus Crew lost a major part of this team in the offseason in Cucho Hernandez, who headed off to La Liga. It was going to be a huge hole to fill, and Jason Russell-Rowe rose to the occasion, stepped up, and he has proven that he is good enough to replace him, and they have an incredible and talented striker on their hands, and Canadians have 2 incredible strikers to watch in the MLS, as Jason Russell-Rowe was fantastic, scoring and getting an assist, as well as man of the match against CF Montreal, where he scored in the 26th minute, as well as having an assist in the 11th. He scored his goal beautifully. I loved watching his goal. It was a very exciting shot and a great finish from Jason Russell-Rowe. It was an unstoppable shot from Jason Russell-Rowe. But the assist was even better for me, as Jason Russell-Rowe showed his ability to drop deep, collect the ball, hold on to play, contain the possession, and find his teammate down the field on a beautiful ball over top of the CF Montreal back line. And it was a great performance from Jason Russell-Rowe. I absolutely loved watching him, and I thought it was very interesting seeing how he was able to show his attributes by being able to drop off and not being a pure number 9, but being able to drop off the front line to collect possession, almost like a Harry Kane style performance, where he showed the attributes of not always having to lead the line, but being able to collect the ball, to drop off, to create chances. It was very exciting from Jason Russell-Rowe, and being able to see that game at a very good level from Jason Russell-Rowe was a huge bonus and a huge flag in his cap, feather in his cap from Jason Russell-Rowe, and is a major thing for JRR, and is why he was my Canadian performance of the week and my number one Canadian performance of this week. Guys, my top 3 Canadian performances were, of course, Promise David, Tani Oluwase, and Jason Russell-Rowe, with my honorable mention being Tejan Buchanan. It was an incredible week for Canadians. It was very difficult to choose a few of them. Guys, let me know your thoughts about the new series down below in the comments, as well as your Canadians of the week. Make sure to smash that like button. It really helps with the video as well as the channel, and hit that sub button. We have now hit 600 subscribers, guys. The support has been absolutely incredible, and I truly appreciate it. And now let's set a new landmark, and let's try and hit 650 subscribers, and let's move forward. Guys, here for all the best CanMNT content. Make sure to smash that like, drop a sub, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.